The audio file you're about to hear comes from the Near Death Experience Research Foundation, a story submitted by Tony F. I will leave a link for the full story in the description box below, where he goes through questions and answers in addition to what I present here. If you or someone that you know has ever had a near-death experience or an out-of-body experience or a far death experience, and you would like to share that with others, please contact me at sallyknop@gmail.com or sallyknop.com. And if you would like to have energy healing or clearing, also reach out to sallyknop.com. For now, let's get it started. I was 17 years old and a senior in high school. I was just getting off work. I met up with one of my closest friends at his place of employment around 11:30 p.m. We were going to a small New Year's party and arrived at the house just before the ball dropped at midnight. On January 1st, 1999, 5 to 10 minutes past midnight, all of us were invited to another party that was all girls. At first, my friend's parents refused to let us go. They weren't letting anyone leave if any drinking had taken place by anyone intending to drive. Myself and close friend just have gotten off work, still in our work clothes, and had only been at the house for a short time, were able to convince this guy's parents to let us go since we were both stone cold sober. My friend offered to drive, and I promised to keep the other three in line. We all piled into my friend's car with him driving. I was in the back center seat, so the other three could be next to a window if the others wanted to throw up while in the car. We all got in. I remember my friend arguing with someone about wearing their seatbelt. He refused to drive if they did not comply. In retrospect, he probably saved their life. On our way to the party, we turned onto the freeway, with music blaring and everyone in the car having a good time. I don't know the speed of the vehicle, but I assume we were moving at around 65 to 70 miles an hour. All of a sudden, something happens. The final report said we hit black ice. But to this day, I honestly don't know if that was the one and only factor. What I do know is that we went off the side of a hill. We rolled a countless number of times before finally landing about 15 to 20 yards from the road. My experience happened some time prior to hitting the bottom of the hill. Time was moving in its normal linear fashion as we all expect it to do. Then all of a sudden time stopped for me, like literally stopped. Out in front of us was a sign that was in our path. It wasn't a speed sign you would normally expect on the road. It had some irrelevant information on it, although I don't remember what it said anymore. Although time seemed to have stopped for me, my mind consciousness seemed to still be working, and I was remembering being so confused on what was currently happening. I should state, up to this point, I had no idea we were in a threatening situation. The best way to describe my state of mind is that I was in shock. The moment felt like it lasted a long time, but I probably sat in this state of silence for 3 to 5 seconds. Then, as if my entire linear life experience was connected to a rubber band and I was having a Wile E. Coyote moment, I had a physical feeling of being pulled backward. I relived my entire life to this point, but in reverse. I remember sounds, smells, experiences, and everything was crystal clear. The interesting part for me was looking back on my life review and realized it made sense. Everything being in reverse order felt natural as living my everyday normal life. The main difference is that this happened in an instant. When I hear NDE experience talk about time being different or maybe non existent, it makes sense to me through this experience. When the whirlwind of remembering my life ends, I find myself in pitch black place. It wasn't scary or worrisome. It was a moment of silence and peacefulness. I'm sure how long I sat in this space as I quickly went into this experience. I flashed back into my body with my eyes wide open. The car was rolling the hill. I still had no idea what was happening. The moment the car came to a complete stop, I remember sitting there and running through all this experience of my life. I was remembering things that had been long lost and out of my memory. But, like waking up from a dream, I realized quickly that many of these memories were disappearing from my mind. I grasped at this many memories as I could, but I was like trying to cup water out of the pool with nothing more than my two hands. I was able to pull a specific memory fragments and the experience as a whole, but the rest would be lost. As the other guys started moving and responding to our current situation, it finally pulled me out of my own head to deal with the problem at hand. Amazingly, 4 of us walked away from this accident, and the fifth person would make a full recovery. I never physically died, so I never knew what this experience was. I didn't talk about it for a very long time. A couple of years back, I told the story to a friend who insisted it was a near-death experience, which started me on this path of understanding. I've seen some people refer to this as a far death experience, but whatever the experience was, it was really opened my mind to reality.